Before Heroes, Masi Oka was a hero at Industrial Light and Magic. We were creating a new technology to digitally drown George Clooney. When most performers talk about their first jobs, it's something like taking orders at Bubba Gump Shrimp Company. But Masi Oka, star of Heroes and Hawaii 520, has to have one of the coolest right-out-of-college gigs on his resume. As we were reminded when watching Season 2 of Light and Magic, the Disney Plus docuseries about the George Lucas-founded special effects company Industrial Light and Magic, young Oka graduated from Brown University with a degree in computer science and mathematics, then left Rhode Island for California to work at the cutting-edge cinematic Sorcery Emporium. He got there at just the right time, too. The group was rolling up their sleeves for the Star Wars prequels, as well as creating new technologies for movies like Twister and Galaxy Quest. His first big job was as a digital artist on Wolfgang Petersen's high seas adventure The Perfect Storm. The biggest "how are they gonna do that?" picture in Hollywood at the time. Speaking with director Joe Johnston, Oka explained the two most difficult things to simulate digitally at the time were human skin and water. "How do you model water?" he asked. "Everything is viscous and changing and natural. You have air and temperature, everything affects water. We have to find a way to translate it into a digital world." This was my first big job. The young man quickly made a name for himself at ILM when he came into work one day carrying, as others described it, a thick stack of papers. All that programming jargon explained how they could begin to do the heavy computer rendering on effects shots about 10 times as fast. "We were creating a new technology to digitally drown George Clooney," he said of those adventuresome days. But that didn't mean things moved quickly. Cutting to old video images of enormous computer databanks with names like Jabba, Ewok, and Luke, Oka explained that the small waves weren't that tough, that's just a million or so particles that needed to be simulated. But the giant waves? That was more tricky. Sometimes it takes 3 days to render one frame, 90 days to get 1 second of waves, and you can't get it wrong, he explained. The proof is still up there on the screen. Though 25 years old, the effects shots of the Andrea Gale splashing around in the North Atlantic looked pretty damn real in the Light and Magic clips. Are we morons for never really thinking how this movie was made in the first place, and just figured they used a big tank? Yeah, we suppose so. Oka continued his work at ILM into the mid-2000s, rolling up his digital sleeves for projects like Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, War of the Worlds, and Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. Along the way, he continued booking acting gigs, like on Scrubs and Reno 911! Sign up for Entertainment Weekly's free daily newsletter to get breaking TV news, exclusive first looks, recaps, reviews, interviews with your favorite stars, and more. If it's been a while since you've seen George Clooney bark, that's where the fish are. Take another look at the Perfect Storm trailer, loaded with Masi Oka's water particles, below.